Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Just talk. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Nabi al-Kareem. Assalamu alaikum, akhi.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, ya akhi.
So I'm telling my story, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to just talk to you like I'm talking to you, like you don't know me.
Okay.
I know we're being recorded. I don't want it to be awkward. But so now that that's out the way, alhamdulillah, I go by Abdullah these days, and I was born Clayton Elliott West in West LA in a city called Culver City. But they brought me home to Venice, and my pops was from Venice. And he was born and raised in Venice. And Venice was one of them funny spots in LA where the founder of Venice, the section, which is really just a part of LA, is patrolled by LAPD. But most people consider it like its own town. But it's really just West LA, famous for its beach. But anyway, the founder of Venice used to had a lot of black people living there when they couldn't live nowhere else. So that's just a fun fact. And a lot of people came from Arkansas, like my grandfather came from Arkansas. And my Grammy came from Texas. So a lot of people came to Venice from East Texas and Arkansas. With that being said, I grew up between my mother and my father when they got divorced. They got divorced when I was 2. But I got a really good memory of the time before they broke up. When I said they broke up at 2, when I was 2. But I remember, the times when I was in diapers. You know what I'm saying? I remember being in diapers and not even being able to walk. And so yeah, that's. I think I was holding on to the memories because I was so close to my pops. He couldn't, like babies do. When you try to go in the bathroom, they want to follow you when they're real attached to you. So I was like that with my pops. And if my pops went to the bathroom, I would scream until he let me in the door. And then I would sit there in the bathroom with him while he used the bathroom. So anyway, I think that's why I remember those memories so tough. Now, time ticks, and my mother grabs me and my brother and took us up to her hometown called Ukiah, which is a small town in Mendocino County, and there's not a lot of stuff going on at all. Besides drugs, and there's a lot of poor people, all races. There's not a lot of black people, but the black people that's there are also poor for the most part. And so I'm not going to really get into a whole lot of deep psychological stuff, trauma-based stuff. I'm not going to get into the tweaks that happen. I wasn't molested or nothing like that, but it was a funny thing around race because my grandmother's white. She's from Missouri. And this white lady from Missouri used to tell my mother, don't marry no black dude. What they do. My mother, my Aunt Lisa, and my Aunt Stacy, the 3 oldest children, they all married. The first 2 married black dudes. And the third one married a Japanese Hawaiian dude. So that's what she gets for pushing that issue so hard. It got them all curious. And now she got all these non-white grandchildren. And so I had a funny little trip growing up racially. And I decided young that I was going to do everything that I seen my pops doing because they were the only people who accepted it in LA, in Venice. So when I go back to LA, everybody welcomes me with open arms. And And that's the only place where I felt that real home type, that love. And in Ukiah, I'm looked at sideways. And so that had me feeling like I'm with whatever script that my pop side of the family is on. Whether it's dope, in the street, banging, violence, all that stuff. So I started trying to live like that. And I got my chance when I was like 13, 14. I went to LA full time. Mind you, I've been going to juvenile hall since I was 11. And I moved to LA full time, started getting locked up in juvenile hall down there, which is a whole different trip. It's different from Mendocino County Juvenile Hall. And getting locked up became a part of my life for forever. Until, I ended up doing like 4 years altogether as a juvenile. And when I finally got out on my last little trip, I was 19, getting released from a juvenile facility in LA. And I went back to Ukiah. And by the time I was 21, I'm involved in drugs and all kinds of stuff. Doing drugs, I'm talking about. And partying and living that rock style life. Rock star, you know what I mean? So I end up committing a murder in 2003. And I commit this murder in Ukiah on some tough guy stuff. And subhanAllah, I got arrested. I gave myself up because I did, what I did in front of people, and felt like I wasn't finna hide. I can't go on the run. Where am I going to run to? So I gave up. I told when the pig pulled up, I just put my arms in the air. I hopped the fence, of course. I didn't stay right there with the body, but I hopped the fence and walked a little bit, and the pig came, pulled up and took me into custody. And I always felt like I was going to see the light of day again. I always felt like I was not going to stay in the pen my whole life. I had that feeling from the start. From the time the handcuffs went on me, I felt like I was going to be free again one day. Now, obviously that's true by Allah's permission. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala really, I think, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put things in people's hearts and put things on people's heart that they know. Similar like Umar ibn al-Khattab, he was told that if anybody would receive revelation, it would have been you, but because there was people who got not revelation, but they got, these I forget what it was called in Arabic, but they had these, not premonitions. I can't figure the word right now, but whatever the case, I knew that I was going to be free. And I did 15 years total, actually 14 and a half. I got sentenced to 15 to life. I didn't even do the whole 15. And I used to make dua before I was a Muslim. I was supposedly a Christian because, I come from a line of Christian people, supposedly. I say supposedly because, my family claims Christianity, but they don't know nothing about Christianity. They're those kind of people. They don't sit up in the Bible and read it. They don't live like that. You know what I'm saying? All they know is that my great-grandfather, Leonard Clayton, he founded a church called Friendship Baptist Church, and that's in Venice, California. So people take it for granted that they was Christians without knowing anything. They couldn't even tell you what the theology of Christianity is besides the blood of the Lamb saved me and all that. So I said I was a Christian. So when I used to make dua, a shirki dua, I would still ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who I was calling God. I would ask God, to free me from prison before I turned 40. Then I stopped being a Christian, and I started to, because I started to study. I started to read the Bible, and I said to myself, no, I don't think the perfect almighty creator is like this, like what they're saying. So the description of God in the Bible, Old and New Testament, to me, I was like, no, God can't be a man. He can't die. He can't get tempted by the devil. You know, he's too perfect for that. And in my mind, this is just my mind is telling me no. You know what I'm saying? I can't go for that. Then I stopped being a Christian because of that. And not knowing anything about Islam, I ended up getting a Muslim celly who was an ex-Crip. And, like I used to see him make a wudu 5 times a day and turn off his TV and tell me to turn off my TV while he would do his prayer. And I was like, man, what's Islam? What is this? I used to think that Islam was synonymous with Arabs. You know, I thought people who were Muslims can't be black, let alone black American. But here's this Muslim, this Sunni Muslim, ex-Crip in my cell telling me, no, anybody could be a Muslim. So that was the first lesson, my introduction to knowing Muslim. And time ticks, and I'm still on my solo path, no guidance, but still can't get with the Christianity script. And when I left, this was in New Folsom. It was, California State Prison, Sacramento. Now, when I left CSP SAC, because I had cancer, the only reason I was at CSP SAC was because I had cancer, and I was getting treated at UC Davis Medical Center. And when that was done, I went back to Kern Valley, which is where I was originally housed at. And I did until 2010, I stayed there. Now, in 2010, I moved to Folsom. And there was a lot of Muslims in Folsom. And there was even a dude who I knew from Kern Valley who was a Muslim the whole time, but I didn't know. I couldn't tell. By his get down, I couldn't tell he was a Muslim. But being around so many other Muslims in Folsom, he started to get with it, because they was reminding him of his deen as it goes. People get cut off from the Muslims, and they start they might trip out a little bit. But so this brother, we called him BJ. BJ said, "Hey, why don't you, they was calling me a different name. He said, hey, Faith, why don't you, take this Quran, take this Quran and read it." So I read the translation of the Quran a lot of times under the influence, but I knew that I was going to be a Muslim before I got through Surah An-Nisa. Now, before I got through Surah An-Nisa, I knew I was going to be a Muslim. So I learned how to pray. It took me about a whole week to learn how to pray, just get the movements down, what do I recite, and all them. And then I prayed for a week by myself in my cell, and then July 1st, 2011, I went to the, Greystone Chapel, which is the non-denominational religious kind of like sanctuary in Folsom Prison. And so I went to the chapel on Jumu'ah Friday. It was Jumu'ah, July 1st, 2011. And it was about a month before Ramadan. And I made my shahada in front of everybody. And it's funny in the pen, like you had people, the NOI would try to, they was really, really trying to get me. For whatever reason. Now,
I took my shahada on July 24th, 2011.
For real?
Yeah, right before Ramadan too. It was like 2-3 weeks before.
Yeah, bro.
Right here in the 31st.
Yeah, man, that's a trip.
Mashallah. I just wanted to say that, but continue, my bad.
Man, that's crazy.
Mashallah.
Yep. It's cool. Was it a Friday too?
I'm not sure. I gotta look in Google and see, but I know it was right before Ramadan. It was on the 24th.
Yeah, subhanAllah, that's a trip, man. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought us to the deen the same month of the same year. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, well, so, and you know, for me, learning about Islam straight from the text, I had good brothers. I had brothers who particularized the Sunnah in their life. Brothers and there was a brother named Abdul Malik. He was from Mississippi originally. And this brother used to always have a copy. He used to always have a volume of Sahih al-Bukhari. You know, saying the Muhammad Muhsin Khan translation. The green copies. You know what I'm saying? The 9-volume set. And he used to always carry around one of them. And I was like, dang, what's this book? You know, what's this book this guy has? This brother here, you know? And he always welcomed me to crack them books open. This was in the chapel, the Muslim office, where we had all our books. We had Al-Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, Abu Dawood. We had like Fiqh Sunnah and a whole bunch of different translations of the Quran. And so like for me, with all that time and, you know, being a new Muslim, I was vigorous. You know, I wanted to get into it and really do it. Like, yeah, I was so proud of being a Muslim, and this was really it. I'm on the truth and I know it. I finally found the truth. I want y'all to know it and smell it on me. And I was telling everybody, you know, and to the point where as it happens with a lot of new Muslims, they get this truth and they start telling people how wrong they are. Like, so I used to tell even other Muslims. I was like, not even a Muslim for a year, and I was telling brothers who took their Shahada like 10 years before me, 15 years before me, that brother, you tripping. You don't even know, you don't know what this deen is all about. I'm telling them that. But you know what that is? It was I got that flavor, that taste of reading. Mm-hmm. And I found out that it's not really all that simple. When you read this here in black and white, yeah, it's the truth. But you're dealing with people who live in color, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? These are people with histories, hang-ups, and all types of things going on with them. They got habits, histories, and hang-ups. You know what I'm saying? The 3 Triple H, bro. So I didn't really catch on to that until a few years went by. And I kind of ostracized myself. Thankfully, there was a lot of brothers who was really on the Sunnah. I was like, man, I'm not going to be one of them. I'm not going to be one of them. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm on this Quran. What it say in the Quran, I believe it, and I'm going to practice it to the best of my ability. When it say in these hadith, these authentic hadith, I'm going to practice them and do them to the best of my ability. And when I would try to call people to that, it was like a simplistic call. I wasn't taking into consideration that these people have habits, hang-ups, and whatever the other one was. I forgot whatever. These are people who got things going on. And it's not just as easy as telling them, dude, you can't say that, or you got to do this, or this is how you pray. You know what I'm saying? Like and even it gets more deep. Like I was actually in them books all the time. And a lot of these brothers, with all the time they had in the world, these brothers were doing it all day. They got life sentences, like myself. But I chose to get up in them books, bro, and read them and study, taking notes, putting notes in the margins of my books, my hadith books, and, reading scholarly works on different matters. So that's what set me apart from them, but at the same time, I was still kind of a little too hard in my approach when I was trying to call people to the truth. So, whatever the case, time ticks. I end up being the Muslim clerk, and I would put people on the list for Ramadan unlocks, classes. So I was in the chapel all the time because I'm employed in the chapel, getting 18 cents an hour, and end up having to go through it a little bit with these Crips from Harlem, from Rolling 30s. There was a dude named Chili. He's like one of the OGs from Harlem. He's like up there. His name is Chili, and he's from Harlem Crip. And I was having issues with the NOI because as a Muslim, I took a hard. Even though I used to work out with these dudes, this dude named Evan X. He was from Compton. So Evan X, who I used to do burpees with, and all them, we used to be in formation doing burpees because I like that kind of militant, in order type of thing, neat. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They never curse. They don't talk. They talk with intelligence. So it's with all the bad that they have with them, coming from a Muslim's point of view, with all the bad they have with them, I was still attracted because of their good manners and stuff like that, and they had that militant type of edge, which was cool to me. But anyway, so time ticks, and I had to tell Evan X, bro, you're not even a Muslim. I'm not putting you on this unlock, and I'm not putting your Crip friends on this unlock. So Chili sent one of his youngsters named Green Eyes to inquire. Maybe he thought he was checking me or whatever, but he came to my cell and said, you got a problem with Crips? You're not putting the Crips on the unlock code? I said, yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. The next day I found Green Eyes. He was with Chili. Well, I don't know who Chili is. I don't know. He's like one of the main OGs in Harlem. And it don't matter. Not to belittle or disrespect anybody, but to me, I wasn't really tripping on that. And so I went to Green Eyes and I said, bro, because I prefer to have this conversation without the bars between us. Mm-hmm. Because it's, it's more manly to me. It was more of the right thing to do. Because if I start woofing with the bars between us, that's going to make everybody mad. I'm going to think about it all night. He's going to think about it. He's going to think I'm a cell soldier. Nah. So the next morning at work line, I walked up to Green Eyes. I said, bro, what I do as a Muslim clerk is what I do as a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? My thing is I'm a Muslim, bro. I don't put y'all on the list because y'all not Muslims. And I'm not finna flood this list with people who are not Muslims. You know what I mean? This is just one of the many adventures that I went through as in the pen. But so Chili stepped in and took over in the conversation. This is when I learned who he was. Because I'd seen him around for years, but I didn't really know who he was. I didn't know he was their main OG. And he said, yeah, man, he said, yeah, bro, if you keep doing this and that with the Crips, nigga, you can get it. And I was like, okay. I said, okay. And I looked right at him and I was waiting, you know what I'm saying? Because to me at that point, I was like, man, if I lose, it's 3 of these dudes. I can always lean on the fact that they jumped me. And whatever blood I draw, I can't win, I can't lose. You know what I'm saying? You get jumped by 3 dudes, that's not a loss. That's just, you know what I'm saying? That's getting jumped. And plus whatever, hands I might have put on them, that's just a bonus. So anyway, that was a fun story. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I used to make this dua all the time.
Wait, what happened though? Like, did you get him the thing?
No, this is exactly how it ended. He said, nigga, you can get it. And I was like, okay. And I sat there and waited for a second, and he said it again. I said, okay, yeah, I'm just going to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? This is how I'm going to do my thing. And he was, he gave me my look and I gave him my look, and that's how it ended. You can get it? Okay. I'm waiting for it. So, I didn't want to say anything back to him like, you can get it too, because I'm not, to me, as soon as I say you can get it.
And that's what he probably was waiting for anyway.
Maybe, but to me, if I say to somebody, you can get it, and I don't give it to them, I'm going to feel like I was woofing too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to feel like I'm on some sucker stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to make no threats that I couldn't back up. Because I'm not finna make no heat, no knife and stab nobody. I wasn't into that. That's not the type of time I was doing. But nothing happened of it. The chaplain, the Muslim chaplain, the state employed Muslim who handles the Muslim affairs as far as Jumu'ah and classes and things like this, he ended up putting like 15 people. He told the NOI, they met with him because he's afraid of getting sued and rid up, you know what I'm saying, because he's a state employee. He can't say, well, forget you, dude, I'm a Sunni Muslim. I'm not dealing with you, NOI. I'm not dealing with the Shia. I'm not dealing with he's a state employee. Mm-hmm. And he can't discriminate against people because of their religion, because that's a lawsuit. And he's going to be the first defendant named in that lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? So he had to play a certain game with him. He said, yeah, pick a number of people you want on the list. And, anyway. So I used to make this dua. It's coming close to, I'm thinking about the parole board, bro. I'm thinking about parole board all the time. I got one right up in the pen. And I used to make this dua, Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqir. That's what Musa, Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqir. And Musa said that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he left Egypt, or when he went to Madian. And this was after he helped the two women to water their sheep. And that's when he sat down, he rested, and he said, Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqir. And I used to make that dua all the time. And I used to also make a dua from Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. The one, make my affairs easy for me. Yassir li amri, Rabbi halil uqdatan min lisani, wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. I forget exactly how it goes. That's my problem is when But the meaning is, and I'll think about it. I'll remember it later, probably right after this. But the meaning was, Allah, make my affairs easy, and loosen this knot from off my tongue, so they understand what I'm saying. And going to the parole board, you have to understand that you have to make them understand what you're talking about, where you're coming from. And the parole board, they're going to ask you about your whole life. And you have to make them understand where you went wrong. And you have to make them understand where you changed and how you changed, what was that process like. And you have to make them understand what you have planned when you get out the pen. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted me those two du'as. And, He gave me something good. And He made me, subhanAllah, the way I was talking at that parole board, I don't think I could ever bring that kind of speech back. You know what I'm saying? Like the vocabulary. I got a vocabulary because I read, but I don't normally use all them words in my normal everyday speech. I'm just a common person. But at that parole board, I was spitting.
It was in your bag, huh?
No doubt. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. That's it. Allah, expand my breast. Oh Allah, open my chest for me. ويسر لي أمري, and make my affair easy. Make my job, my affair. This thing I gotta do, make it easy for me. واحلل عقدة من لساني, loosen the knot, take the knot from my tongue so they understand what I'm saying. That's what I used to make that dua all the time. And this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me. So I got out at 36 by Allah's permission before 40. Remember, I used to ask for this all the time. I spoke with a clear tongue to the parole board. I had a plan, a good parole plan. I'm a welder. I'm a certified welder. I learned how to weld in the pen. Got a bunch of certs, welding cert. Alhamdulillah, I learned how to read the welding code up in there too. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala freed me from prison in 2018. And I used to always hear brothers say, it's going to be different when you're a Muslim on the street. Let's see if you can still be a Muslim on the street. Let's see if you still with all this stuff on the street. As if the street is something different. Islam is the same, bro. To me, and I used to tell them, Islam is the same everywhere you go. Just because you was a Muslim on the street and you still ended up locked up, you still ended up doing dope or whatever, getting into a domestic violence with your girl, whatever you did, drunk driving, all that stuff. You're a Muslim, it was hard. You didn't have no pig watching you with a Mini 14. You didn't have no pig coming and counting you and looking at you every so often. So you lost that consciousness. You said, I'm free. I got no supervision. You did what you wanted to do. And that's what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? None of us is perfect. I'm not going to say I don't do sins or I haven't done sins since I've been out, but I'm a Muslim and I stayed doing my salat. I used to have a dream in the pen of myself making salat on a hill. When you face the Qibla, the way you can't just face up the hill or down the hill, which would make it a little bit easier. But when you slant it sideways, when one leg is higher, I used to have a dream like that. And there was one time I had to do salat. I do salat wherever I'm at, no matter what. If I'm in a parking lot, if I'm in a park, whatever. And I prayed in the back of my truck, you know what I mean? But that's one thing I never let go of, and because of that, I believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never let me go astray, like a lot of brothers who I know, who I used to pray next to. I used to be in a cell with some of these brothers. And I know these brothers went astray because they put that stuff on Facebook, when I used to have Facebook. Anyway, so here I am. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me more than I asked for. And expanded me in a lot of good. Alhamdulillah, my still trying to memorize Quran. I ain't stopped. Being a Muslim on the street is much better than being a Muslim in the pen because you got access to a lot more stuff. It's not like it's hard it's way easier to be a Muslim on the street. Way easier. So whatever those people used to say, and it was a common thing, people thought that Islam was going to be different on the street than it is in the pen. And it's being a Muslim out here is way easier. It's better. You know what I'm saying? And so, I've been out for, what is it? June would be 2018, 19, 21, 23, 24, 25. I'll be out for 7 years now. And I don't want to tally all the good things that I got, but alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me very much. And because He's al-wasi', and He gave me a lot of stuff. And I'm thankful for that, and I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide me to truly be thankful and show my gratitude. Boom. That's it. That's where I'm at now. I don't know where I'm gonna end up, but that was a fast little history, and I think I focused a lot on one part of my life, but basically, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I think about death all the time. I don't know where I'll be, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us. Nobody knows what land they're gonna die in. You know, but I think about death all the time. I'm expecting to die any time. Like, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know whether it's going to, sometimes I envision myself right in my truck crashing or getting T-boned or, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I think about it all the time, and I just hope that when you, I'm getting a call from the Muslim chaplain right now. This is the brother who was, yeah, we stayed in contact. But, yeah, you know, I just be trying to stay prepared for death, and I want y'all to make dua for me when you hear that I died. And if I get, if you see me on the news for some stuff, don't believe the news. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Well, may Allah bless you, man, and continue to bless you and your family.
I mean,
continue to give you the good of this life and the next.
I mean, Jazakallah khair. I'll get that to y'all, man.
I appreciate you sharing your story, brother. It was a beautiful story and a journey. That was dope that we took Shahada around the same time.
For sure.
Give me some, brother. MashaAllah. And catch y'all on the next episode of Hoodlum to Muslim. May Allah bless y'all. Thank you for tuning in.